what a big deal last week was. And I got divorced one time. I'd like to say it was the last time. And many years ago. And I was traveling in the finance business. And so I was on the road a lot. And I decided that I was going to get involved with some kind of community involvement here in Chattanooga. So I reached out to River City Parrot Heads and wanted to join their club and get to know, everybody goes through a transformation when you go through a divorce or something bad happens to you or whatever, and you got, at some point in time, you got to, pull your bootstrings up and move on. And so I felt like it'd be a good idea to join some kind of club or whatever, in town to, meet new people, get out, do things, whatever, turn your mind towards something else. So I joined the River City Parrot Heads. I didn't know that was going to be like a 15-year thing when I did that. The funny thing was, when they'd actually interview you back then, like, so what makes you think you'd be good for our club, I was like, well, I listen to Jimmy Buffett, and they're like checking that off, I listen to Margaritaville when I'm on the road, and I've got a tiki bar. You're in! So that's kind of how that went. But like most people who join the Parrot Heads, and I'd like to say rediscover Jimmy Buffett. You've always been aware of Jimmy Buffett and everything that's he's about, but maybe you are, maybe you're not. Maybe you just know Margaritaville or Cheeseburger in Paradise, a few songs or whatever. You don't know that there's such a 50 years of music there that's in that library of music. He's really more of a poet than anything. But the Parrot Heads in general is a Jimmy Buffett club. And that's what Me and the Minds was. Basically, I was on a plane one time in Key West leaving Key West, and I was sitting next to a lady who's talking to another lady who had just came to Key West for Me and the Minds. And the lady next to her had no idea what that was. And she's like, well, it's a Jimmy Buffett convention. I'm leaving Key West because I went to a Jimmy Buffett convention. And I thought, wow, that's how a perception of a lot of people treat Me and the Minds. It's a Jimmy Buffett convention. And naturally, you would always go to Key West because that's where Jimmy Buffett went to find Jimmy Buffett. But the truth is, Jimmy probably wouldn't be Jimmy without New Orleans. That's really where he started playing and kind of fine-tuned his way, if you will, to playing in front of people and that kind of stuff or whatever. If it wasn't for New Orleans, probably never would have been a Jimmy Buffett. But once
Jerry Jeff Walker
and his wife took Jimmy Buffett to Key West and basically left him, he discovered the whole island. That really created the whole escapism of what Jimmy Buffett became about and everything else. So there's a lot of, it's a lot of emotions. We played 12 hours. We just turned over the radio station to Jimmy Buffett music. We didn't make an announcement about it. If you're a radio station out there that is any type of tropical radio station, that was just the right thing to do. And so we didn't make an announcement about it. So if you were listening to Tiki Man Radio, you got to hear all that. But there's a lot of questions. People have a lot of emotions right now about a way forward and what that means. I mean, I've seen a lot of Parrot Heads posting to their club. We're going to continue, like it's just going to end now that Jimmy Buffett has passed away. And that's really not what he would want, I don't think.
Just because he's gone doesn't mean the mindset.
That's right.
Is gone.
And really, I used to tell the Parrot Heads when I would, we'd have these Parrot Head get-togethers or whatever, and we'd have new members, and I would get up and talk to them about, being a Parrot Head is what you are, not what you do, because there's a lot of charity events that are involved, things that you have to donate your time to. We used to do it once a month. and from the community kitchen to Alzheimer's. We did a lot with Alzheimer's because Jimmy's dad passed away from that. So we were involved in a lot of things, and becoming a parrot head, you have to be, it's not just get drunk and drink a margarita. There's a whole other side of it, which I believe that would be his long-lasting legacy, other than his music, of course, is how much money they've raised around the world and all these years. But Mac McAnally was playing this past week, and he talked about he went to see Jimmy Thursday before he passed away on Friday.
Really? So
he got to talk to him, and he said that Jimmy just looked at him with a big grin and said it was a hell of a ride, So you can't get much better than that. If you have an opportunity to leave this world and you get a chance to say bye to those that mean the most to you in a coherent way, he also said keep the party going. So as he told his daughter, keep the party going in a responsible way, he told her.
In a responsible way.
Yeah, Delaney. Anyway, so that's what really where we're at, And now they had a celebration of life. I'd say it's celebration of life. Listen, Key West can throw a parade if it's National Potato Week.
That's the truth.
All right, and so they had about 48 hours to really kind of throw that thing together. They're in the process of changing September 1st to Jimmy Buffett Day.
Very nice.
And there's talk about changing the airport name. I don't know if that'll happen or not, but
wow, I signed the petition.
Yeah, I think
they should.
Yep.
What's amazing to me is not so long ago we were doing a tailgate party
right
in Key West, and we couldn't use the word tailgate. And now everybody and their brother are selling Jimmy Buffett T-shirts and
doing tailgate parties,
and so that's continuing on. There's a lot of legalities involved with the word tailgate. I'm like, Jimmy Buffett don't own the word tailgate, but you couldn't say a Jimmy Buffett concert tailgate party. You had to be real careful about all that stuff. That's kind of changed a little bit now, but I think more than anything that the party has to continue, and I think it will continue. And I think they're going to try to have the same festival next year in September in Key West. Paul with Key West Local Rum has already got that booked. It's already out there. Will that last forever? I don't know. What I really believe will happen is that every Parrot Head club around the country, around the world, will have their own festival on Labor Day weekend, as it would be Jimmy Buffett weekend now, which is weird because he's got a lot of songs about Labor Day.
Yeah.
But his biggest hit, Come Monday, starts off that way.
That's right.
And how fitting is that?
I know it's great. You couldn't write it any different.
No.
But
born on Christmas.
Yeah,
born on Christmas and
Labor Day.
Labor Day weekend.
Callie McCool has a question, Tiki Man. He says he's been studying Jimmy Buffett bio. Didn't he start in Nashville? Then moved to the South, which inspired him to create.
Not really.
No. What really happened was Nashville, like a lot of artists, it chewed him up and spit him out really quick. He did go to Nashville, and he was going to actually try to be a
country singer,
like a country singer.
Yeah, and
it just didn't work out. And
I see
it happens to a lot of people. But he went out and created his own world, and if you really go down through the whole history of it, spent a lot of time in Mobile, and New Orleans is really the where he got his fine-tuned art. And that's in the words of Jimmy Buffett. You could look that up.
But coincidentally enough, he heavily influenced country music.
Sure, so, absolutely.
There's a lot of stories out there about that I learned when I was doing my research about him. So
I think, and I wrote a lot about it this week, that Jimmy was already a legend, and we all knew. We just didn't know it would be this sudden. We kind of felt like there would be a time, probably when he turned 80, that he would quit touring, but he loved it.
He absolutely loved it.
And he told a lot of people that that's really where you make your money is performing. The music business is set up for the artist not to make money. And if you can become a performer and get people to come see you, you can carve out your own little world there for sure.
Yeah. So, and when you get to the point where you have your own cult following,
yeah, absolutely,
you've made it.
We got Heather Hayes coming up here shortly, but at 11 o'clock, she's going to join us. But obviously, he's released 3 songs off the new album. We're not going to play the Gummy song.
Why not? I love the Gummy songs.
It's okay.
But
okay?
I tell you, Bubbles Up is a great song.
Yeah. But we are going to play Bubbles Up.
That's a great song.
I think this is probably, these are the last recordings that he recorded. And I think there was something there. I really do. I think there's a reason why he went back to Key West and he did those 2 weeks in Key West. And he gave back to an island who basically didn't like him that much anymore. And he went back and he did 2 weeks worth of concerts only for Key West residents. And they lined up around the block. And when they threw that parade together, I'm glad they're embracing Jimmy the way that we all have, and re-embracing and rediscovering him, as people will continue to do forever. Even like, say, the Doors music. Somebody stumbles across the Doors music and never listened to him before, and they're like, holy crap, this is pretty good, So I think it'll always be that way. But all right, here we go. Bubbles Up, brand new by Jimmy Buffett off of the new album, Equal Strains. What is it? On All Parts. Equal Strains on All Parts album. And well, here you go. And then Heather Hayes is going to be coming up right after this. Happy Sunday, everybody.
When this world starts a-reeling from that pressure drop feeling, we're just treading water each day. There's a way to feel better, be well set to weather the storms till the sun shines again. When your compass is spinning and you're lost on the way, like a leaf in the wind, friend, hear me when I say, bubbles up, they will point you towards home. No matter how deep or how far you roam, they will show you the surface, the plot and the purpose. So when the journey gets long, just know that you are loved. There is light up above, and the joy is always enough. Bubbles up.
Heather Hayes joined.
To my friends who are jelly when melancholy knocks, sometimes they let her in to sit and share stories of flops and of glories. It ain't half as bad as the bends. Sometimes living's a struggle, multiplied double, but they love it too much for the party to end. Bubbles up, they will point you towards home. No matter how deep or how far you roam, they will show you the surface, the plot and the purpose. So when the journey gets long, just know that you are loved. There's light up above, and joy, there's always enough. Bubbles up. Let's pop a cork to the rough and the right, to the bright blazing days point us towards home. No matter how deep or how far we roam, they will show you the surface, the plot and the purpose. So when the journey gets long, just know that you are loved. There's light up above and joy, there's always enough. Bubbles up, bubbles up. Bubbles up.
There you go.
I'm over here crying. And apparently everybody else in the chat is
I know.
too.
Yeah, that's man, what a great song, and
It's very powerful.
it's pretty deep. Have you not heard it before?
No, I have heard it.
Yeah.
And I have my own opinions about it.
Oh, do you? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Well, it's
I love the song. Let me put to you that way. But I find within that song a very deep rooted message.
sure.
Absolutely. Well, Beth Travers was just sitting here saying, does anybody feel like that song was written for them? And I'm like, absolutely.
Yeah. What a if you know that that's your last song, or your last album, you're cutting your last album, because I believe he knew.
Yeah.
No, absolutely.
He knew what the condition. He'd been battling that cancer for about 4 years. I think when he canceled those concerts over in South Carolina, I think that was, hey,
I've done all I can do.
you got. Well, that may be a message from the doctor. Listen, we've done all we can do. You probably got about 6 months. And a lot of people gets that news, and it's devastating. Mm-hmm. But not everybody can jump on a plane and head out and go fishing, and then and enjoy yourself. And hey, I want to go to Key West. I want to ride my bike down there. I want to do some concerts. I want to cut one last album. I've got some more music. I want to let's get that out of the way. And do those things that you've been kind of putting off or whatever. So
Yeah.
Exactly.
It's,
reevaluate life a little bit and decide what the important things are.
Well, you got a lot of people that just want to complain all the time about everything. And, at the end of the day, life is very short, and you need to embrace the life that you have, whether it's the best life or not, So